Have you ever noticed how, as we get older, our bodies seem to crave a little extra care? Maybe you've felt like your energy isn't quite what it used to be, or perhaps you've started paying closer attention to the foods you eat because you know they matter more now. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many of us over 60 find ourselves wondering, what can I do to stay healthy, vibrant, and full of life? Well, let me tell you something exciting. One of the simplest ways to boost your health and even add years to your life is by making a few smart changes to your diet. And here's the best part, it's easier than you might think. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 specific foods that science says can help you live longer and feel better. These aren't just random suggestions, they're backed by research, and they're all foods you can easily incorporate into your daily meals. Whether you're cooking for yourself, sharing meals with family, or enjoying takeout, these tips will fit right into your lifestyle. So, if you're ready to take control of your health, one bite at a time, stick around. Let's dive in. The first food I want to share with you is something you're probably already familiar with: nuts. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, "Oh, I've heard this before," hear me out. Nuts are truly a powerhouse when it comes to longevity, and there's a reason why so many studies highlight their benefits. They're packed with healthy fats, protein, fiber, and antioxidants, all things that support your heart, brain, and overall well-being. For example, almonds are rich in vitamin E, which helps protect your cells from damage, while walnuts contain omega-3 fatty acids that keep your brain sharp. But here's the thing, not all nuts are created equal, and portion control matters. A handful, about a quarter cup, is all you need to reap the benefits without overdoing it on calories. You can sprinkle them on salads, mix them into yogurt, or simply enjoy them as a snack. Personally, I love keeping a small bag of mixed nuts in my purse for those moments when hunger strikes between meals. It's a quick, satisfying way to fuel your body and stay energized throughout the day. Now, let's move on to the second food, leafy greens. You've probably heard about spinach, kale, and Swiss chard before, but have you ever stopped to think about why they're so good for you? Leafy greens are loaded with nutrients like vitamins A, C, and K, as well as folate and magnesium. These nutrients play a key role in everything from bone health to immune function. Plus, they're incredibly versatile. You don't have to eat them raw if salads aren't your thing. Sautéed spinach with garlic makes a delicious side dish, and adding a handful of kale to a smoothie can give it a nutrient-packed boost without overpowering the flavor. One of the reasons leafy greens are so powerful is that they're rich in antioxidants, which help fight inflammation. Inflammation, as you may know, is linked to a host of age-related conditions, including heart disease and arthritis. By incorporating more greens into your diet, you're giving your body the tools it needs to combat these issues naturally. And here's a pro tip: try to choose organic options whenever possible, especially for spinach and kale, since they tend to absorb pesticides more readily than other vegetables. If fresh greens aren't always available, frozen versions are a great alternative. They retain most of their nutritional value and are often more affordable. Now that we've covered nuts and leafy greens, let's move on to another food that deserves a spot on your plate. This one might surprise you because it's something many people overlook, but trust me, it's a game changer. Before we get into that, though, I want to remind you that every small change you make adds up. Whether it's swapping chips for nuts or adding a handful of spinach to your morning omelet, these choices create a ripple effect that benefits your health in ways you might not even realize yet. So, let's keep going and explore this next food together. The next food I want to talk about is something that's often associated with indulgence, but when consumed in moderation, it can actually be a powerful ally for your health: dark chocolate. Now, before you get too excited and start raiding the candy aisle, let me clarify, we're talking about dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa content. The higher the cocoa percentage, the better it is for you because it contains more of those beneficial compounds called flavonoids. Flavonoids are antioxidants that help improve blood flow, lower blood pressure, and even enhance brain function. Dark chocolate also has a unique ability to boost your mood, which is something we could all use a little more of as we navigate the ups and downs of life. It stimulates the production of endorphins, those feel-good chemicals in your brain, and it even contains serotonin, which can help regulate your mood. So, the next time you're feeling a bit down or stressed, a small square of dark chocolate might be just what you need to lift your spirits. Just remember, moderation is key here. A couple of small pieces a day is enough to enjoy the benefits without overdoing it on sugar or calories. If you're wondering how to incorporate dark chocolate into your diet, there are plenty of creative ways to do it. You can enjoy it on its own as a treat, melt it and drizzle it over fresh fruit like strawberries or bananas, or even sprinkle some shavings over your morning oatmeal. One of my favorite ways to use dark chocolate is by adding a few chunks to a trail mix with nuts and dried fruit. It's a delicious and satisfying snack that keeps me going during busy days. And if you're not used to the slightly bitter taste of dark chocolate, don't worry, it grows on you. Start with a lower cocoa percentage, like 70%, and gradually work your way up to 85% or higher as your palate adjusts. Now, let's move on to the fourth food that can make a big difference in your health: fatty fish. If you've ever heard the phrase fish is brain food, there's a lot of truth to it. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and trout are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are essential for keeping your heart and brain in top shape. Omega-3s help reduce inflammation, support healthy cholesterol levels, and even protect against cognitive decline. In fact, studies have shown that people who eat fish regularly tend to have slower rates of memory loss and a lower risk of developing conditions like Alzheimer's disease. What makes fatty fish so special is that our bodies can't produce omega-3 fatty acids on their own. We have to get them from our diet. And while supplements are an option, getting nutrients from whole foods is always preferable because they come packaged with other beneficial compounds. For example, fatty fish also contains vitamin D, which many of us over 60 don't get enough of, especially if we spend a lot of time indoors. Vitamin D plays a crucial role in bone health, immune function, and even mood regulation, so it's a win-win. Incorporating fatty fish into your meals doesn't have to be complicated. If you're a fan of cooking, try baking or grilling a fillet of salmon with some lemon, garlic, and herbs. It's simple, flavorful, and incredibly nutritious. If you're not a fan of cooking or don't eat fish often, canned options like sardines or tuna are convenient and just as beneficial. You can add them to salads, sandwiches, or pasta dishes for an easy protein boost. And if the idea of eating fish still doesn't appeal to you, don't stress. There are plant-based sources of omega-3s, like flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts, that we touched on earlier. The key is finding what works best for you and making it a regular part of your routine. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, these foods sound great, but how do I make sure I'm actually sticking to these changes? That's a valid question, and I'll tell you why consistency matters more than perfection. It's not about completely overhauling your diet overnight, it's about making small, sustainable adjustments that become habits over time. For example, maybe you start by swapping one snack a day for a handful of nuts or adding a serving of leafy greens to one meal. Over time, those small shifts add up and create a foundation for better health. And speaking of consistency, there's one more important aspect of longevity that ties all of these foods together, and that's balance. While each of these foods offers unique benefits, they're most effective when combined with other healthy habits, like staying hydrated, getting enough sleep, and staying active. Let's talk about how you can bring all of these pieces together to create a lifestyle that supports your long-term well-being. Now that we've talked about nuts, leafy greens, dark chocolate, and fatty fish, let's take a moment to think about how these foods can fit into the bigger picture of your health. It's not just about adding one or two of these foods to your plate, it's about creating a balanced approach to eating that supports your body and mind as you age. One of the most important things I want you to remember is that food isn't just fuel, it's also medicine. The choices you make every day, whether it's grabbing a handful of almonds instead of chips or swapping out white rice for a side of steamed spinach, can have a profound impact on how you feel today and in the years to come. Let me share a quick story with you. A few years ago, I met a woman named Margaret who was in her late 60s. She came to one of my workshops feeling frustrated because she'd been told by her doctor that her cholesterol levels were too high and that she needed to make some changes. At first, she was overwhelmed by the idea of overhauling her diet. But instead of trying to do everything at once, she started small. She began by adding a serving of fatty fish to her dinner twice a week, snacking on nuts instead of cookies, and tossing spinach into her morning smoothie. Over time, those small changes added up. Not only did her cholesterol improve, but she also noticed she had more energy, her joints didn't ache as much, and she felt more confident about taking care of herself. Margaret's story is proof that small, consistent actions can lead to big results. Speaking of consistency, let's talk about hydration. While it's not one of the 4 foods we've covered, staying hydrated is absolutely essential for maintaining your health as you age. Many seniors don't drink enough water because their sense of thirst diminishes with age, but dehydration can lead to fatigue, confusion, and even more serious issues like kidney problems. So, make it a habit to sip water throughout the day. If plain water feels boring, try infusing it with lemon, cucumber, or mint for a refreshing twist. And don't forget that foods like cucumbers, watermelon, and soups also contribute to your daily fluid intake. Another key piece of the puzzle is movement. Even if you're eating all the right foods, staying active is crucial for maintaining muscle strength, flexibility, and overall vitality. You don't need to run marathons or spend hours at the gym. A brisk walk around the neighborhood, some gentle yoga, or even dancing to your favorite music can work wonders. Pairing physical activity with a nutrient-rich diet creates a powerful synergy that keeps your body strong and your mind sharp. Now, I know that change isn't always easy, especially when life gets busy or routines feel set in stone. But here's the beautiful thing: you don't have to be perfect. Nobody expects you to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight. What matters most is progress, not perfection. Start where you are, and celebrate the little victories along the way. Maybe it's trying a new recipe with salmon, discovering how much you love roasted Brussels sprouts, or realizing that a square of dark chocolate can turn an ordinary afternoon into something special. These moments add up, and they remind you that taking care of yourself can be enjoyable, not a chore. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought: aging is inevitable, but how we age is within our control. By making mindful choices about what we eat, how we move, and how we care for ourselves, we can create a life filled with energy, purpose, and joy. Remember, it's never too late to start. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, your body is capable of incredible things when you give it the care it deserves. Before we go, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these foods are you most excited to try? Or maybe you already have a favorite recipe that incorporates one of them. I'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. We're here to support you with practical tips and encouragement every step of the way. Here's to living your best life at any age. You've got this, and I'm rooting for you. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.